Every boy is born with potential. Some are born with opportunity. Others must build it step by step. This channel exists for the boy who refuses to give up.
Thank you so much. Welcome to our Boy Child Advocacy podcast, where we mentor, we inspire, and we give boys hope to go after their God-given talent, where we bring boys to inspire other boys, young men who have gone ahead of us, to come and share their stories so that they can challenge other young people that it is possible and it is doable. No matter the background, mahali umetoka, it is basically material. Hata kama there is no school fees, there is no food, chaos here and there is still hope and there is still God in heaven. Karibuni sana, if you are a returning subscriber, karibu sana, if you are a new one, welcome so much, and I think it would be a great one. Today we are joined by one of my good friends, classmates, someone who is doing a lot for our generation to ensure that we have a better generation. He's a teacher, he's a preacher, and a great man in the society. Karibu sana, Paul.
Asante sana
We are very
Titus.
happy for honoring the invitation.
Oh, I'm also happy.
So that you can inspire our boys.
Wow.
I think you can do a brief introduction. Who is Paul? What does Paul love? What does Paul do? Yes.
So asante sana everyone who is listening to us. Mimi na jina yangu ni Naibosha Paul Mwirigi. I'm a teacher by profession. I studied at the University of Embu, and I come from Kianjai, and from a small village called Tiroto.
Yeah.
But out of that, I can see something good can come from that one. And I also am a director of Life Changers Movement, that we aim in transforming the lives of people through the gospel of Christ. And I'm so happy because of you, Titus, for the work you are doing.
Okay.
Our boys must be made or empowered, because in our community, without a man, there are many things that can go weird. But when young boys are shaped into their responsibilities and they are raised to be men, that is the mirror that everyone in the community looks at. So I'm very happy to be here as we inspire the boy child.
Absolutely. From the village, from Tiroto up to the university, that means it is possible.
Yeah.
Did you see yourself when you are young going that far, being a director, being all the way to university, and doing a lot of what you are doing today?
I think the first thing that happens in life, it is seeing.
Yeah.
If you don't see, you cannot get to that place.
Absolutely.
Because if I had not seen myself,
Yeah.
maybe I will be giving my story. I remember nikiwa mdogo tu,
Yes.
I began preaching to trees and clothes zilikuwa zimehangiwa kwa kamba.
Wow.
And I think that seeing as when I was that young,
Yeah.
that is what has shaped my future. I believe because maybe probably I did not want to become a teacher, literally.
Yeah.
But through that one, as you grow, you may find yourself into different things that shape up your life.
Yeah.
But as the determination I had to become that neurosurgeon,
Yeah.
I saw myself navigating through many things until I became the man that I am, the teacher that I am. So because if I did not have a vision, I could not be where I am.
Absolutely.
So it is that vision, that picture that was in my mind when I was a small boy.
Yeah.
I could see myself treating people, but even now I'm treating people's minds through imparting knowledge to them.
That is absolutely.
Yeah, so I believe what I saw when I was a young boy is what has made me to be.
That's one of the greatest lessons you can borrow, the power of a vision.
Mm.
No matter where you are right now, can have a vision. See yourself. You can see the power of passion. When you talk to trees, As you build confidence and capacity, it starts there.
Yeah.
Nobody starting from the top. The way you are, man, you must see yourself somewhere, then you can go there.
Sure.
So that means if you don't see yourself somewhere, you can never go a place and never see yourself.
Yeah,
Right?
you can never be there.
Now has been your high school life or primary, high school up to tertiary institution, the end of our PDB.
That question is somehow hard to me. I've learned in around 8 or 9 schools from when I began schooling. I've been into 6 primary schools and 1 high school, then 1 university. So my journey began in Lari. I used to stay in Egembe. I transferred around 4 schools in Egembe, and then 3 in Tigania. So the journey was not very easy. So because there are many challenges that take place, but determination must be the key. Because I remember my primary school was somehow smooth because I had no issues, no discipline cases. But when it came to high school, I experienced a lot of things. In fact, in the high school that I was, I transferred more than 6 times, imaginary transfers. I'm going every time I'm going, because there are many challenges that we used to face there, especially in our school strikes, all those things, sometimes even lack of fees. But it's that journey in high school. For instance, I remember there is a time I was sent away for fees. My father is not somehow well off, but there are some things we tried to see. So yenda ilikuwa kagari mzee sana, and one day alikuwa amenipeleka kuomba ruhusa kwa principal. Sasa tunaulizana haka gari kakizima, nani tutaita wanafunzi watusukumie? But I had a determination to work, and also that challenge, in fact, it challenged me because nilijiambia lazima nisome ili nijue kurudishia mzazi mkono, hata kama si yangu, at least I can try to do something. The strikes themselves zilikuanga zinavunja mtu moyo, because I remember even 2 weeks I think to my KCSE, kuna wakati ili happen shule ikachomwa dom, and we did not lose hope. We tried to make it to achieve ile goal yenye tulikuwa tunataka. So my high school life was not somehow easy, it was somehow tough, but we still managed because I also had some personal challenges. Mimi nilikuwa mtu wa kulala sana, but we managed.
That means you can use the challenge as a learning fund instead of using it as a instead of playing victim mentality. You can use the same challenge to take a different and look things in a different perspective. That because of this one, I will never like this one to happen to my life. That means I will do extra work, or I will do extra thing I can for me to make things better in the future.
So I always believe that a challenge should not make me to rest. I should not be in that comfort zone like now. Then I die there. No, I should use it as a stepping stone. In fact, I always know that every invention that comes must come from a certain problem. So trying to solve that problem, binaletanga an invention. So I always believe that when I face something in my life, there are things that I should do much more ndio sasa niweze kutoka on that thing. That thing should not determine my future. Because now, for instance, mimi high school, the first I did KCSE 2 times. And the first time I believed I would pass, but there are some mistakes that I did, and I acknowledged them, in fact. So after I noticed my mistake after the exam, I decided that I would not go for that below thing. Niliamua now I will get back again and attempt the second time. And challenges, in fact, it's like my life was all about challenges. Like I will not break through without a challenge. Because I know after the first attempt, wakati nilirudi the second, 1 week after getting back to school, Corona came. We went home for around I think it was 7 or 8 months.
Yeah.
Tukarudi tena. Then it is that, then after that time again, after January that tumemaliza 1 week, 1 dorm down.
Yeah.
Tukaenda nyumbani 2 weeks. Again, tukarudi Monday, Wednesday, another dorm down. And then you are only 3 weeks or 2 weeks to the exam. So I believe those challenges were meant so that I can encourage someone that from that challenge, you can still make it. And your mistake should not determine your future or the person that you will become.
That is absolutely great.
Yeah.
Pure wisdom.
Mm.
So there's a power of second chance.
There is a power in second chance.
I think we can talk about that one, that if you don't make it the first time, you not beat yourself or hit yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe you can sit and do some self-reflection and say, I made an error somewhere. I go back, I can rectify.
Yeah.
Not only in school, but also in many aspects of life.
Yeah.
Most people try something once, when they feel they just give up a business, a career, any venture someone tries the first time and they fail. Maybe you can talk about that one, that you can bounce back, you can give it a second thought, and finally Indiana. Yeah,
so to me, I believe there is power in a second chance.
Yes.
Because the first time, maybe there are some limitations, and in that journey, unaweza kuwa notice the mistakes that you have done, and that is the time to rectify. And I believe the person that invented the bulbs, he says that he knew, is it 1,000 and ways that a bulb cannot work. So it does not mean you try once and you give up. There are many things that you must press on. I'm always encouraged by some two stories in the Bible of one called Isaac. Isaac redug wells. The first one anadug anafukuzwa. The other one, until the enemies they give up. Then there is this young man ambaye alipisha mahali yake na akaenda akawaste. And then he gets back to the father, and the father says, he is still my son. So it shows me that even when you make a mistake in life, you can rebuild yourself. You should not look on what people will say, because people are there to discourage. They will start saying, now he was a failure, that's why he has repeated. He is now, even when you repeat and you make it, they will say it is because he repeated. So people will always get away to look for a mistake for you or something to say about it. So the power of second chance, when you feel you have not made it. In fact, I have a brother that repeated around 3 times until he scored the grade that he wanted. So it shows that there is that power and the determination, and knowing that once it is done, you have not lost it. You can still make it to get what you wanted. If it is business, in all the, even if it is a relationship, ukivunjwa moyo, simama and move on. Una mwenye alituambia unaenda ukililia uko mbele kama ambulance, hakuna kusimama. You should not.
Yeah. Now you have, I have known you as Apart for the longest time, hata ukiwa mdogo, ukiwa high school, ulikuwa unadili, watu wanakuita papi. Now what is your relationship with God? Ilianzia wapi? How has God contributed to your journey so far? And then what do you say about how watu wanasema, me I left church and not left God? And so many things that happen within the society right now.
So my journey with God began maybe around 2019. That is when I got born again. But before that, I used to serve. But unajua, the journey to salvation comes with self-realization. I was born in a priestly family. My father and mother, they are servants. They serve God. And unajua, sasa ukiwa mtoto wa pastor, you are expected to become that pastor like they are. But sometimes it's very difficult, because for me, I was struggling with many things. Number one, mimi matusi nilikuwa nimekaa environment ya watu mahali kunapikwa pombe. So matusi nilikuwa nayo, Sunday uko kwa madhabahu na ukitoka kanisa unaenda kutusiana. Sometimes I was involved in some few drugs, hata kama sikuingia sana. Other times, it is even in high school, I met myself into some things, some sexual morality. But out of that, when I realized myself, I think I was in term 3. 2018. That is when I realized my journey with God. That is now when I began, and after 1 year I heard the voice of God in my calling. I understood there is something that is inside me. There is something that I can tell people and they can come to Christ, because the best thing is the gift of salvation, knowing that God has saved you. And to them that say that they have left church and not God, the first thing they use is the church is their own heart, of which we agree. But also the Bible tells us that we should not despise the gathering of brethren. Tunapeananga example moja na kuni zikiwa kwa jiko. Ukiweka kuni moja kwa jiko inakataanga kuwaka ama itawaka izime. Lakini kuni zikiwa pamoja zinatiana moto na zinawaka moto mkubwa. Alafu tena there is another analogy tunakuanga nayo. Ukiangalia hata wanyama kwa documentary, simba akitaka kushika swara ashikangi yule swara wako wengi, anatafutanga mwenye ako peke yake, na anaweza amua kutawanya wengi abaki na yule mmoja ahimu na yeye, kwa sababu anajua wakiwa pamoja watamweza. So those that left church and they did not leave God, they might have a relationship with God, but there are things that we learn from men. Proverbs inatuambianga that as an iron sharpens an iron, so a man sharpens another man. So wakati tuko pamoja, there are things that we learn, even not necessarily about Christ. We learn many things in life, hata vitu za kusaidiana kikazi. Because mali nafanya kazi, I was connected by a brother. Tulikuwa tunaserve na yeye in campus. Alikuwa nyuma yangu but akaona opportunity akanitumia. So there are many doors that can open when we gather together. So they should not say that they left God, they left church and not God. That is what I always believe, that when we come together there is something we can do.
Absolutely. When we come together, great things happen. I think you have used good powerful analogy that you can really learn from. Again, on the same issue, when you go to most churches, we have a really small number of men. Even in Sunday school, the boys are not going to church. The boys too on Sunday wanacheza mpira, wengine wanaenda kuchunga ng'ombe. There's a pattern that is happening, that the guys are more on the church side, our boys are messing up. Where sometimes they used to teach in a certain junior school. Na kwenye assembly mkitafuta wanafunzi wakuja kuimbisha yaya ama kuomba, unakuta ni girls pekee tunakuja. So there's an issue. What can you say about that one? And what can we do to kurekebisha so that we can have a balance in a better society? And good men who are principled and brought up in the right environment wanajua God, so that things can be better as we go.
Now, personally, I always think the problem did not begin with us. It began with most of our parents, because ukiangalia kitambo, mzee alikuwa anaambia watoto waende kanisa na mama, lakini yeye anabaki nyuma. Yeye anakataa kwenda. And then children, they may not learn by listening. They learn by seeing what they see. So yule kijana venye anagrow akijua baba yeye anabakingi nyumbani, watoto na mama wanaenda kanisa. So yeye naye sasa akianza kufika hiyo age, unajua now there is a age amana anaanzanga kujifeel sasa nataka kupata mimi mwanaume. Anaanza sasa kuemulate the things zenye aliona. Sasa anaanza kusema sasa kanisa ni ya wamama na watoto. So now they start deviating from going to the church. So I believe that problem was begun by our parents, but we can still rectify it. Now, one is by trying to show our boys that the church is not for only the children and the women or for other people. They should also understand the church is for every person. Now, when God was calling people, he called everybody, not one gender. Lakini hata tukiangalia the issue again is still these boys. Wenye tu wanajitolea ndio wanakuwa mapastors na servants. But I believe we can still rectify by one, encouraging our boys, teaching them the importance of going to church, by trying to show them that there is no masculinity by being left behind wakati watu wameenda church. Then number 2, it is about the personal relationship with God, because wanaume wengi hata ukiangalia wenye wanakujanga kwa kanisa, ile wakati ameishiwa kabisa, amejiwaste, sasa ndio anaamua kuja kwa kanisa ndio at least watu wakuje kwa mazishi ama wafanye vitu zingine. So I believe when we encourage our men and then we show them love, That is what will bring them close to God and to the church.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And that is so powerful that we have an issue with role modeling and mentorship.
Yeah.
That our fathers have failed us,
Mm.
but you don't need to point fingers no more because we are already facing the problems of their mistakes.
Yeah.
So I think we need also to change the narrative, and now we are also becoming parents.
Mm.
We need now to be the right priest and encourage them and lead by example as you have seen.
Yeah.
But most kids they don't learn by listening.
Yeah.
They
They
learn
see.
by watching by the way.
Yeah.
So ukimwambia aende ama umpe sadaka aende anafikiria chachi ni sadaka yeye anaenda kukaa by the way on Sunday. Kumbuka wazee tu wanasoma gazeti.
Yeah.
So maybe the boys grow thinking that the church is feminine as you have said.
Yeah.
So I think it's a challenge to our parents, to upcoming parents. If we are fathering or mothering a boy, could you show them the right path?
Yeah, in fact they should kama ni kwenda church as a man. This has been my take. If I am the man of the house, mimi ndiye nitakuwa kwanza kujiprepare na kutoka. Ndio my children they learn from me. Yeah, that's what I always believe. Na hakuna mwenye naacha, wote tunaenda pamoja.
Yeah, that is the rule of the house.
Yeah.
And that's a nice philosophy and think we can borrow a leaf. And then in our society we have a crisis of drugs and alcohol abuse. Our boys are smoking bang right, left and center. School dropout is increasing. Poor performances. What can you say about that one? And what can we do as mainly in our individual capacity, as a church, as a community? What can we do to rectify this one so that because I are seeing a generation that is really in danger, we continue with the same thread?
So personally, I believe number one is the thing we have taken on mentorship, lack of people to show young boys the way. Like most of them, if they are into drugs, they are the ones that introduce them into drugs. Because you can see kitambo mzazi angetuma mtoto hizo vitu bila hata kusikia kitu yoyote. But then there is an issue of peer pressure. Because personally in influence in school it was peer pressure, the group that the circle unapata the circle wote wako na mavitu zao unataka hata wewe and then unaingilia tu alafu ingine you want also the feeling ya kuambiwa hata wewe ushaijaribu. Then that is what messes a man, because when you try and then you feel it's good, you can decide then to try the other time and then you meet yourself as an addict. So I believe hiyo kwanza kidogo. So we should teach our children, and then there was the stigmatization of miandarati ni mbaya. Yes, ni mbaya, but you are not telling a child the badness of it. So I believe when you tell someone this is not good, you should tell them the consequences or even the advantages that come with it. Ndio mtu asiseme nataka kujijaribia. There is that feeling unaambiango you want to feel it. Because personally I believe most of the things that I had done, it was because of peer pressure. It is not because of parenting. My father was there to teach and train me. But when I joined some people, they would want also to feel. Now in my family I've never seen, so let me also try. And that try is what makes someone an addict. But there are some people still that they may not take them because they have seen the negative side. Because I have had one colleague who was telling us that he can never taste alcohol because he has seen the disadvantages. Hizo madhara zote zenye zimehappen in the family. So I believe by also showing them the things that happen in the families of people that are taken into drugs and those things, they can learn something negative. Because when you see there are some families unasikianga mzazi amepigwa ameuawa, when you give them an example of that, because some people want to see by themselves. So I believe that is one way that we can be able to take them out of those drugs. We teach them and show them examples.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now the question comes, because you have been in that field for a while, how do you now make a right friend? How do you choose the right company to make an influence to drugs or to other things that are likely to ruin your life? How do you make a conscious decision? How do you make sure you have the right company basically to avoid
Yeah, I believe number one, you should not make your happiness be determined by other people. There is something that we see, like the happiness cannot be my happiness. I want to fit in their circle so that people can see me that I am happy. So one thing is that you should understand that the happiness or their joy is not my joy. There are things that make me happy that cannot make the other person happy. So when you are choosing friends, you should consider people of your same category. So for instance, I was born in that group I was born in that circle, being brought up in a godly way. Sikuwa nafaa kutangamana na wale watu nataka wanifurahishe. I should have followed the path that is mine. Yani ile njia wale watu ambao wameinuliwa kama venye nimelelewa. So I should have followed those people. Then number 2, you should not do something to make people happy. Now mimi, I wanted always to fit in a certain group. Not because of myself, but at least nijisikie kuna ile marafiki pia wanione hata mimi naweza. So I always believe that you should not enter into those circles that they will ruin your life, but you can choose the best group by knowing your values. For instance, you know your values and will not take drugs. You make that choice. Because I remember personally the first time I took alcohol, ilikuanga kufurahisha girlfriend. Because my girlfriend used to take alcohol. So to fit in sisi wote, asione I am holier than thou. Nikaamua tu hata mimi nichukue kamoja kwake tujifurahishe sisi wote. But after that mistake I learned. And that's when I decided now I cannot be determined, or my life should not be determined by other person. It is myself. If I perish, it is me. Because if I follow that person, I don't know where they are coming from. So it is the life that I want to build. So choosing the right friends is one, knowing your values, what you want to be, and the things that define you. You should not do something to make people happy.
That's absolutely nice. Absolutely. Life is yours and you're 100% responsible.
Yeah.
If you fall, it's your responsibility.
It's my responsibility.
If it's the wrong person, it is your responsibility.
Sure.
So the choice is yours. I think you are learning, guys. I think as we end up, I would like to talk about few things. Number one, kwanza nimeshangaa ukiniambia you were born again in 2019. You tell us about that, being just in church as just mere person, but there's no conviction. And I think that one happens mostly to pastors' kids. Because there was another church also event. The girl was in Form 1. It is the time she was getting born again that time. And the father walikuwa ameshtuka sana. Tena alimwambia mimi namjanga start juu huwa mnaenda.
But I believe that going to church is, number one, it works. You can be there without being born again. But when your day comes, you get born again. Because you cannot compare myself with someone who has never been into church. Because when you introduce God to them for the first time, they will be shocked. But me, because I was seeing and I was encountering, it is not a shock. So the decision that I made, it was not out of pressure. It was my personal decision. I always advise people going to church even if you are not born again. Hata ukuna take to vitu twako si mbaya. It is good because one day you are going to make that decision. Because we always believe, in fact, a church is a school of sinners and a clinic for saints. So you can be changed when you are in the church. So when you are in school, you are learning. When you fully learn, you are then convicted and you have the conviction to get born again. So me, I was still in church, na nilikuwa nafanya tu mambo twingi. And then there was that fear again ya kukuwa mtoto wa pastor. But I think when I made my decision, that is what has sustained me to where I am for those years.
That is very nice. Very nice. Then you end up, you would like to encourage boys who are they are boys who are coming from poor backgrounds, but in the same village primary schools. Sometimes they go with no shoes to school. Sometimes there's food, sometimes there's none. Sometimes there's school fees, sometimes hakuna. Nguo hakuna, mtu anaenda na mizigo kiraka. Sometimes amekuja lunch hakuna kitu kupata. Is there hope for that young person? Is there hope for that teen?
Yeah, I always say there is hope. Na I began by saying that challenge should be the stepping stone, or it's the one that should help you to navigate to see the way zenye utatoka. Niliwaambia about my story, hiyo issue ya kuenda na kwa kawari kalikuwa kazee, kalikuwa lazima kasukuma ndio kagurume. Sasa tunaulizana sasa, tukienda tutaita wanafunzi watoke watusukumie, lakini tulikapaka kwa kamulima. So that thing motivated me because I've also seen many challenges kama hizo. There are times hata mimi tumelala njaa, but still unajua sasa hiyo kulala njaa ndio inafaa kuwa I should not live maisha ya kulala njaa. Hiyo maisha ya kukosa, I mean, ndio sifai kuishi.